Good morning once again. Welcome to the review segment of the show. Thanks for joining. Those of you who want to watch us on Facebook, we are live at facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Also, we are live across some 46 South African countries via satellite. So it means lots of you, or scores of you, are watching across the continent, and we are extremely grateful. And let me quickly take you through the topics we are discussing for the morning. Bobi Wine under house arrest after return to Uganda. The Daily Graphic newspaper has captured the stories on page 5. I won't resign, Addison tells OccupyBOG demonstrators. I won't resign, Addison tells OccupyBOG demonstrators. And 90% Ghanaian kidney failure patients not receiving dialysis. 90% Ghanaian kidney failure patients not receiving dialysis. These are topics we are discussing for the morning. As usual, be a part of the conversation. Let me know what your thoughts are. Text lines have been displayed on the screens. Make sure you send in your messages, your opinions, your submissions. I'll be more than glad to read them. Please, no insult. Keep it decorous, and I'll do well to read them for you. This morning, I've been joined by Comrade Bernard Mornah. He's a former chairman of the PNC, also a convener for Justice for Ghana. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Chief.
I trust you are doing good.
Well, in health, yes. Economically.
In economic terms, no.
Very, very terrible.
Right. Mr. George Ayisi is the public relations officer for the National Disaster Management Organizations. I've heard that he has his sights on one of the 275 seats in Ghana's parliament. I've not seen him particularly talk about it, and maybe because the NPP have not gone for their primaries yet. But is that true, by the way?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
I don't know.
the lady is terrified.
Which seat is that?
The lady is terrified because.
Don't worry, at the right time.
Which one is the right time?
We'll talk. We don't pick before time, you know. Good morning. I'm in black because of the demise of our mother, the former First Lady, Madame Theresa Kufuor. Yesterday, the communications team of the NPP and the government, led by the Honorable Minister for Information, Kojo Nkrumah, paid a courtesy call on the former president and his family to commiserate with them at the PDS Lodge. That's why the MPP has lost a mother, and we are mourning with the former president and his family.
May the soul of the former First Lady rest in peace, Madame Theresa Kufuor.
And you are still in black.
Yes.
So and also the former.
There are many people that have died.
Honorable E.T. Mensah is also passed.
Former majority leader, I think, also.
Yes, Felix Ozejapong.
Yes.
We also heard that yesterday.
Yeah.
We commiserate with all the families.
Great. Let me also mention that Alhaji AB Fuseini returns to the show today. He's actually on his way. In the next few minutes, he should be joining us. But we'll start the conversation regardless.
Count your chicken before they hatch.
I've spoken to him. And once Alhaji says that
if he gets a puncher on the way,
he won't get a puncher. He will sit in.
So wait till
he will sit in Uber and come. Right. Let's start the conversation. As usual, we start discussions with an African story. We are going to Uganda this time around. Bobi Wine. I know him, especially when it comes to his music. Now he is a politician, and who would have thought that he would become the biggest threat to Museveni in Uganda? Well, the story here says that Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine has said he was grabbed by goons and put under house arrest on his return from South Africa. The singer-turned politician is the strongest challenger to President Yoweri Museveni, who has held office for almost 40 years. The 41-year-old has been arrested numerous times and has faced several charges, including treason. Police denied arresting Bobi Wine, saying he was merely escorted home. Interesting. It says, disregard rumors of his arrest by propagandists, the police said in a statement. Bobi Wine, a former pop star whose real name is Robert Kyagulanyi, made a failed bid for the presidency in 2021 in a tense election against President Museveni, who is 79. The election campaign was marked by a crackdown on the opposition, and at least 54 people were killed during anti-government demonstrations. Bobi Wine arrived on Thursday via the Rwandan capital Kigali following a series of international engagements. His supporters had planned to welcome him at Entebbe International Airport and accompany him to his home about 50 kilometers away in a huge march, but the police said this was illegal. Bobi Wine said that as soon as he landed, even before he had gone through immigration, goons grabbed me and dragged me, twisted my hands and bundled me into a waiting private car. He later said from his home that he was under house arrest. I'll end the story here. And I know Comrade Bernard Mornah is actually friends with Bobi Wine. I remember in 2021, he was one of the people who was looking forward to seeing Bobi Wine capturing the presidency in Uganda, but that was not to be. A lot of things characterized, I mean, even before the election, during the election, and then post-election. I remember that he and his family were under house arrest for quite a lengthy period. It got to a point in time, I think he was actually even doing live videos from his home, telling or updating his followers on exactly what the issues were. I would start with him for the very fact that he has that close ties with Bobi Wine as well, and I also know he knows the issues that are going on as far as Uganda is concerned.
Greetings to you and to Ayisi. And let me start off from where Ayisi started, that our nation has lost some of the people who played some critical roles in our recent history. That of the former majority leader in parliament, that of the former and longest serving sports minister, who is also a current Council of State member, E.T. Mensah, that of, I think, the National Treasurer, former National Treasurer of the National Democratic Congress, and of course, the former First Lady, Teresa Kufuor. These deaths probably have come as the nation is in deep economic crisis. And I have been aware that Teresa Kufuor, for instance, had been unwell for a considerable time. And at many instances, there have been rumors that she has passed. In fact, sometimes it has to take the family to come and clear the rumor. And finally, she has passed. She probably, in her public life or outings, is one of the people that I continue to respect. Never was it said that Madame Teresa Kufuor used her office for any gain. Never. That she used her office as a former First Lady or as a First Lady to do anything untoward. She was not engaged in grabbing state land for herself. Today, second ladies and first ladies are virtually engaged in the loot of our nation's resources. And so, we praise and mourn Teresa Kufuor because of the good deeds that she did, that she did not meddle in destroying the future and taking or appropriating for herself resources meant for everyone to her family. And to that extent, I mourn with Teresa Kufuor. Maybe I don't know the other side, but as far as her public record is concerned, I know that she served this nation. She served very well, without any debt, without any, I mean, nobody could say anything about her. She was one of the most distinguished women of our time. And I, probably what I can say of her, I cannot say that of our current First Lady. I cannot say that of our current Second Lady, because I think that they are into the loot of our nation's resources. So to the family, to the party, and to our nation, we mourn a great woman who once anchored the position of First Lady. And let her stewardship serve as an example for those who want to also receive such pronouncements from other Ghanaians, that it is not about what you grab, it is about how well you have served your society. Teresa Kufuor served our nation with distinction. For E.T. Mensah and others, I think that they played a pivotal role in our nation's reconstruction. And I recall a story where, on return to our constitutional tenure in 1993, the cadres of the NDC were all excited and they looked forward to E.T. Mensah. In fact, they proposed that E.T. Mensah should be made Minister for Youth and Sports. And when the list was given to the Speaker and the Speaker read the list, the cadres marched to the Speaker, D.F. Annan, very angry, and started protesting that they would not allow this to go because they wanted E.T. Mensah as their minister responsible for youth and sports. And the Speaker of Parliament sat down and everybody, they were ranting. Now chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Sediun Ketia, all of them were there in the meeting. They will not allow peace to prevail. At the end of the day, the Speaker, you know, D.F. Annan, managed to calm things and ask them, what is the meaning of E.T.? And everybody sat down. They said, there is Enochtay Mensah. And you know, they have grown up to know him as E.T. E.T. So the Enochtay Mensah did not come across as the E.T. Mensah they know. And officially, they couldn't have written E.T. Mensah, they had to put Enochtay Mensah. That is to tell you that among her contemporaries at the time, they saw value in him to lead. And that is how come they even marched when the list was submitted to the Speaker of Parliament to do this. His future life and what he became, fighting the same political party, is something that will be left for another day. But I think, despite everything, he also played a significant role. And the two others, I want to just limit it at that. Now to Uganda. In 1986, President Yoweri Museveni succeeded in becoming the president of Uganda. That is about 37 years. That is about 37 years right today. At the time that President Yoweri Museveni became president, Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine, was just a toddler, was about 3-4 years old. Today, Kyagulanyi is grown to want to be president, and Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is still anchoring the presidency of Uganda. As if that is not enough, he has decided, and in fact before this, in 1986, as Professor Frimpong Boateng will say, the Yoweri Museveni that everybody knew, the fiery statements he used to make, his condemnation of African leaders who wanted to stay in power, being the bane of Africa's progress, because he said that longevity was not the answer and solution, and that African leaders had always wanted to stay long, and that is part of the problems of Africa. So if this was the position of Yoweri Museveni in the 80s to the 90s, today, that Yoweri Museveni is not the Yoweri Museveni we know today. And that is how come the former Chief Justice, Kanyehamba, Professor Kanyehamba, said that if the Museveni of the 80s sees the Museveni of the 20s today, of the 2000s today, if the Museveni of the 80s sees the Museveni of today, he will take a gun and shoot the Museveni of today. This is Professor Kanyehamba, who was a Chief Justice, who went to the African Court. That is his position of the Yoweri Museveni that we see today. Because Museveni has become a butcher. he slaughters. People are adopted. People are, look, common books, Alhaji. Norbert wrote a book, the CEO of Digital Alternative in Uganda, wrote a book. To publish the book, he was arrested. You cannot write your views of Uganda or what you think about the politics of Uganda. So when you even write a book and you want to publish it, right, you are arrested. And these are young people who have lived the Museveni life and they want to document their views. They are arrested. And for Bobi Wine, on many occasions, have been arrested. Last month, I was supposed to be in Canada, in Toronto, for an event that Bobi Wine was attending. By the way, as you are aware, this morning I've tried several times. The calls go through, he's unable to respond, and that is not him. And so I'm even more terrified now that he's not able to respond to the calls, except if he's in a meeting. But anytime he sees any of our calls, he will respond immediately or send a message. I was supposed to be in Toronto with him. But because I could not go, I had to do a Zoom into the conference that he participated in. And from Toronto in Canada, he's been stopping over and stopping over. And of course, he got to South Africa where he had to meet with Malema and other comrades. From South Africa, he then came through Rwanda and then was entering Uganda. As he got at the airport, his supporters who were aware that he was coming, you know that the airport is actually far from Kampala. It's about 2 hours. Yes, it's about 2 hours or so from the Kampala. So his supporters marched up at Entebbe Airport to receive him into Kampala. Just before he could come down from the plane, he was taken away. They immediately arrested him. You know how they do it. They just twisted his arms immediately to disable him, blindfolded him and took him into a car. And so while the supporters were gathered and marched up to escort their leader, only to realize that their leader eventually was speaking from home. Because Yoweri Museveni dreaded that the supporters will march and the international and everybody will see that the elections that he stole in 2021, the rightful leader of Uganda had returned home. Don't forget that Justice Kandihamba was a minister for trade and commerce, appointed by Yoweri Museveni. Don't forget that he became the Chief Justice. Don't forget that later he became the Attorney General and Minister for Justice. And this man today says that, look, the 2021 elections as they know them was stolen. And that the results were flipped just as it was flipped in Gabon. What the opposition got is what was given to Yoweri Museveni, and what the Yoweri Museveni got was what was given to the opposition. And African leaders continue to watch. Right? The African Union continue to watch. They will not say anything. A day that citizens will be angry enough and to say that enough of the Kaguta long stay in office. Not just the long stay. If it is the longevity alone, it's not a problem. But it is that Yoweri Museveni is a butcher now. It is that he does not tolerate dissent. Look at what he did to his own personal doctor who decided to contest him in the election. You remember Basige?
Yeah.
They doused the man with pepper. The man had to go to Kenya for Kenya to treat him. And because of that, Yoweri Museveni is having problems with Kenya. Because he wanted Basige to die. And Kenya decided that no, they would give him treatment for free. And they took him and treated him. And that is the reason why there is tension between Museveni and Kenya. I am disappointed that as of now, the African Union is not talking. The East African Economic Community is not talking about the levels of bad governance that we are witnessing in Uganda. Bobi Wine, as I've said, even sometimes in his face, that he does not or may not constitute the embodiment of what we all want in a leader. But in the current space of things, Bobi Wine is the most closer to becoming the president of Uganda. And he has displayed it. Look, this is a ghetto boy, Alhaji, who grew up from the ghetto, used music, build, and when he built his apartments in the ghetto, he decided to get the ghetto boys out of their ghetto houses and give them the apartments for free. And they then decided that he should become their MP. That the government is unable to provide us with accommodation, and you use your music money and resources to put up accommodation, and you are not charging us, you just gave it to us to live so that we too can have decent places to stay. And so the ghetto boys brought him and campaigned for him to become the MP. Subsequently, they mounted pressure on him to contest for the presidency, and no doubt that he formed the National Unity Platform, where he was able to galvanize almost all the other political parties that were in existence. And today, he is constituting the largest opposition in Uganda. No matter what they do, no matter how long they threaten, one day, it will certainly fall here. And in this one, I'll take it before ABA will come. They say that no matter how far the urine travels, it falls in front of you. So no matter what they do, there will be change in Uganda. Right. Whether it will be peaceful or non-peaceful, change will certainly come to Uganda.
Right, right. AB Fuseini has just joined us. Let me extend my heartfelt felicitations to him. Alhaji AB, good morning. Our viewers haven't seen you in a long time. You are sorely missed. And we want to believe that you are
looking for Wache. And the man was hiding somewhere. He would not even pick my call. When I had managed to eat some Wache that was not nice, then he called me and said, "Oh, there is Wache." I would have asked them to bring you.
Good morning.
I trust you're fine.
Good morning, Bless. Good morning to my comrade, my chief, my brother, Bernard Mornah, and let me congratulate him for the good work he's doing for this country. In difficult times, it is only patriots who stand up for their nation. You know, my brother Patriot Ayisi would have loved to join, but I know the strings that are there. I want to say good morning to you.
Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning to your technical people, to the viewers of Pan-Africa, and the good people of the Sanaro constituency. Actually, I was more or less on the Brichina people of the Sanaro constituency. I was on a national, more or less a important party national assignment. National in terms of the profile of the job that we had to do. I'm sure you are aware, as chairman of the Northern Region Caucus of the NDC in Parliament, we had to undertake some programs during the recess. And this registration exercise was one of the exercises that we mounted together with our colleagues from Northeast. So I led a team of MPs for us to patronize, I think, about 24, 26 constituencies to, as it were, not just monitor, but lend support financially, morally, politically to our people in the various constituencies across the two regions. And Bless, I tell you that for me was a very, very important eye-opener. And not just that, but it served as a huge boost to our party in the process of ensuring that we get all eligible people enlisted on the register of voters. So that come December 7th, 2024, the task will be made more easier for His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and our MPs in the various areas to win the elections. Bless, you choose your hunting dog not on the day of the hunt, but long before the hunt commences. So the actual work on the ground now for all of us is on the field. And so I want to take this opportunity to urge all our members to go down, wherever you are, even if you are a big public servant, you are somebody who cherishes change, and change is the only thing that can save our country. Allah forbid that this hopelessly uninspiring government comes back. This country is in a very, very terrible state.
Right.
And so I want to say a big thank you to the constituents on the ground. They are working very hard, some with their meager resources, just to contribute to ensure that they get food, they get water, they get something small to give to some of the people. So our visit was very inspiring. I'm telling you that it was in certain areas at the risk of turning into rallies. You know, the people were very excited to see the Northern Caucus come up. And I want to also thank my colleagues, Honorable Soyini, Honorable Dawuni, Honorable Professor Hamza, Honorable Abednego Bandim, Honorable Alhaji Baba Seydou, all of them. There were many, our colleagues, colleague MPs who found time. There were some who wanted to join us, but obviously were caught up in some assignment. There were some committee sittings, some could not come. Yeah, but I can tell you that substantial numbers of our members patronized the event, and I think it will go down well. I thought that given the enthusiasm for the exercise, the electoral commission should have extended the exercise. I can tell you that in a doubt, Bless, that there are large numbers of youth out there still waiting to register at the close of the exercise. Hundreds of thousands of youth were still waiting to register. And I think that, notwithstanding the independence of the electoral commission, the independence of the electoral commission must not be misconstrued to mean that they have a right to disenfranchise anybody. The EC doesn't have that right. In fact, this is a constitutional right given to Ghana, guaranteed, entrenched, right, guaranteed to people. So nobody can make any legislation or do anything or issue an executive instruction or anything to deprive the people of their constitutional and inalienable right to register and to vote. So I think that the electoral commission must come back again. I have heard them say that they have achieved their target of 700,000. How did they arrive at that target?
Right.
You can deliberately make a very low target and not want to fulfill. The most important thing is to fulfill that constitutional mandate. So once people are still waiting in the line to register, you must give them the opportunity to register. I don't think it is in the right of the electoral commission to say that it believes it has achieved a target, but when it is clear that people are still in the queues wanting to register, you are no longer going to open up the exercise for people. I think that is wrong, and I think that all of us as political actors, my brother Ayisi inclusive, we must all speak up and give our young people the right. This country tomorrow belongs to the young people. Right. So we must not deny them the inalienable right to register and to vote.
Right. Thank you very much, Alhaji. It's good to have you back on the show. But now let me go back to Mr. Ayisi and pick his thoughts on happenings in Uganda.
Yeah, thank you. But before though, I thought Alhaji was chair of the 15-member team for the Northern, Savannah, and Northeast. Is that it? 15 members of parliament.
Northern region.
Oh, okay. It's Northern region specific.
Yes.
Okay.
But we incorporated our brothers from the Northeast.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's less than the number. That's okay. You went to that. I just hope and pray you never were involved in young people queuing up, attempting to go and register.
Underage people, you mean?
Kids queuing up to go and register.
Juveniles.
Conscious people who are pushing kids to go and register.
Are you making an allegation that we were involved in pushing?
No. I say I hope you didn't involve your people.
But for you to say that, you must have evidence that we did something similar.
No. I'm saying you led a team.
Yes.
You spoke so well of the processes and all that.
Yes.
So I'm just being careful to say, okay, I hope your team didn't supervise any such thing.
And I'm just hoping that your agents were there, were allowed to their responsibilities.
And two, let's allow the Electoral Commission to do his work. That's what President Mahama said, and we all agree with him. Yes, that you allow the EC to do his job.
Even
He said that when
so everything
Charlotte
Mama said
Osei was there, he get it. He said we should allow the EC to do his job. Okay, what has changed?
Mama
Let's allow the EC
know.
to do his job. You get it. Let's allow the EC to do his job. It is constitutionally mandated to do that. Unfortunately, I agree with Honorable entrenched clauses. Okay, and so let's allow the EC, led by Jane Mensah, who's legally put there, to do their job. Okay, all of us are going to be players. When there's agreements like the parties in parliament, both majority and minority, agreed on the issue to suspend or, the use of the Ghana card, for some time. I am all out for it, for the Ghana card now. But members of parliament think otherwise. So I think that has been taken, and they are using the guarantor system. Having been a polling agent and I know how the guarantor system is deliberately and consciously abused in the registration processes. And they know, all politicians know. And so what can we do to sanitize that process and get a very credible register? That is our primary objective as a country. Let's hope we get there. Bobi Wine, I think Comrade Bernard Mornah, I'm tempted to use comrade because no, you are the comrade, so I use it for you. No, you use comrade. I'm a patriot. Yes, I have to, they say give credence where, so it's comrade. I'm a patriot, so I'm happy when you use the patriot for me.
Define comrade for you.
Don't worry.
Define comrade for you, in case you don't know the meaning of it. You are a comrade.
Don't worry.
You are not a comrade.
I'm a patriot.
Define comrade for you.
In the communist socialist systems, comrade is a very nice word that they use. So Bobi Wine, I think Chairman Mornah has said a lot about him. The young guy who's risen as a musician, decided to go into politics, and is causing waves in the political arena in Uganda, which is rippling across Africa and the globe because of the unfortunate response that President Yoweri Museveni is giving to him. I don't know why he's scared of the young man. Why? You've been there for 37 years, and what is the issue? A young man has risen up, and as Bernard Mornah, chairman, said, when he was president in 86, the young man was born around 82, 83, about 3-4 years. And so he's risen up, he's gotten the response, support of the people, and then he's making waves in Uganda. I think the good thing is that I think Uganda is charting the democratic path, Bless. They are charting the democratic, so they elect Yoweri Museveni every time. I don't know how he gets to win all the time in a democratic.
Yeah,
don't worry.
At a certain point, Yoweri Museveni put a term limit.
Yes.
And took off the term limit.
Yes.
At a certain time, he put up a ceiling for presidential age.
Yes.
At 75. When he got to 75, he took the ceiling and decided to contest. And that parliament...
Why would you put a ceiling?
He said that there must be maximum age. If we have minimum age to contest for president, there
so
must
now
be...
he doesn't want it again.
So he took up the maximum age, and there was in that fight in
He's
parliament.
now 79.
Yes, there was actually beatings in parliament.
So he can go again?
Yes. He's actually going again.
African leadership.
In 2025, he wants to go again.
That is the unfortunate part of our leadership. Look at is it Congo? Sorry, Cameroon. Bongo. Is it Bongo? No, Paul Biya. Look at what is happening there. And there are other places that we have these people. So I commend our leaders, especially in Ghana, especially President J.J. Rawlings, for ceding to all the pressures and allowing the democratic process to fester and to grow up to this point. I commend J.J. Rawlings, may his soul rest in peace, because other countries did demonstrations and co, but all we got was that the leaders transformed into civilian leaders and perpetuated their stay in power. You get it? They put on the uniform and they manipulated the election processes, and they have been there up till now. Okay, but we didn't get that. After the second term, per the Constitution, JJ stepped aside and then we went on. That is what is culminated in our democracy up to this point. And fortunately, we have Parliament, honorable members of Parliament here. Cool, you know, in a coup regime, no Parliament is there. You get it? And so, and unfortunately, Yoweri Museveni doesn't want dissenting views. Then what kind of democracy is he practicing? Okay, if you don't want dissenting view, this guy is a citizen. He's traveled, he's back, internationally recognized, and they're giving him platforms. Chairman said he was billed to be on a show with a program with him, and he had to do via Zoom. After the program, he's getting back home, and this is how you receive him. Yoweri is rather making the guy more popular and more acceptable across the world. What he's doing is rather going to get the world community to support him financially and in other ways to be able to unseat him. You get it? He's giving him popularity and campaigning for him. I don't know why African leaders do these things. You get it? Because this is a young, vibrant man, a musician who was popular in the music arena and is transformed into a politician and is catching up the popularity. The fire is burning. Yoweri Museveni, if he doesn't take time, this boy is going to burn him out. You get it? And I think it's time Yoweri Museveni gets out of the presidency. For 37 years, whatever he's got, he would have given it. But unfortunately, unlike Lee Kuan Yew, who had a long stay in power and radically transformed Singapore, that's not what we are seeing in Uganda. We still see the poverty and deprivation in Uganda. We see the Lord's Resistance Army. Are they down now? I think there's been agreement. They've stopped the fight from the bush. You get it? Those things were there. Yoweri Museveni wasn't able to stop them. Poverty, hunger, and co is still pervasive in Uganda. You get it? And so disease is in Uganda. And I don't think he has succeeded almost 4 decades in power. Every serious, visionary, forward-looking leader would have transformed his economy. A typical example in Africa is Paul Kagame. Okay, within the spirit of that, about 2 decades, he's been able to radically transform Rwanda. You get it? And so if Yoweri has almost 4 decades and still the state of Uganda is the way it is, then in our local parlance, Bless, have we gone or have we come? You get it. And so he should allow the young man. Look, the young man was bundled and sent. The government is saying it was they were providing security for him. Maybe for his safety, Chairman Bernard Mornah. Your friend's safety is guaranteed when he arrived. Otherwise, somebody may attack him and they will accuse you of Museveni. So they want to guide him. They want to, come on, can you imagine African leaders? Why? This guy was safe across the globe. In his homeland, he is no more safe. So the state security must provide security. And he cannot even meet his own fans. This is Africa. Look at the kind of explanation he's giving the world. Please, I think African leaders, AU, must
so why
get
were they
this
firing
man.
tear gas at his supporters who were coming to his house?
No, they are afraid there are some provocateurs amongst them. Okay, and so they'll come and cause trouble and blame the government. You get it? I think African Union, we should get serious, AU, and begin to call these kind of leaders to order, to stop these things. Why? We are in a free world. The young man wants to contest. Let's encourage him. okay, and let him contest. Maybe he will even lose. Let him go. He loses, you know, you let the world see that, yeah, I'm beating him. You get it? Why are you frustrating him? Like fortunately, the Senegal one has ended, right? The man is not going to contest and all that. So I think the Bobi Wine.
They don't want to allow Ousmane Sonko to contest. That is the main thing.
No, the man says he's not going again. So whether Sonko will contest or not is another matter. Sonko, he has been sentenced, right?
Yes.
So
that was the main threat. And after that, when the rioting and the burning of things started, then he came and said he's not contesting again. But what about the main opposition who could have won the election? That you have now used the legal or the courts to prevent him from contesting.
Africa. Fortunately, Ghana, we don't have these things. Last one, this thing.
But we have it at GFA.
Yes. Look at what happened in GFA. Come on. Keto Kreku, my good friend, I love the man. But I don't like what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
He's actually been retained, so.
Yes, mafioso. Randy Abe, we love you, Randy. Talk to your man. Randy, you had the popular votes yesterday. I mean, talk to Kurt. Kurt is a fireman. I don't expect a couple man doing mafioso. I'm surprised. Anyway, congratulations.
For the singing he was doing.
Now, the last one is about our brother, because we are talking Bobi Wine entertainment too. Let me commiserate with John Dumelo. You know, he's from here. I understand tomorrow he's seeing his mother off. Yeah, may the old lady's soul rest in perfect peace.
Right, thank you.
Understand Holy Spirit Cathedral.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Mr. Ayisi. Let me come to.
We are the opposite sides, but
Alhaji
you know.
AB, of course. Alhaji AB Fuseini.
Opposite side. I'm sure Edward Bauer was your best man.
Oh, you and yes, he's a brother. Edward Bauer is a brother.
I'm going to campaign for him.
Oh.
I know.
After that, I was in Bolga with him.
And also your own decision.
Yeah, after that, I was in Bolga. We had a good time. Yes. No, he's right. I should have gone to support my brother.
When Bagbin, Chairman went to Bagbin's constituency to campaign.
Yes. And Bagbin also went to when the time was
on the rescue mission.
People wanted to kick them out. The rescue mission. Anyway, Honorable, you're welcome back.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How can you be welcoming this man?
There are still some stuff.
I hope we didn't come to give you protection at the airport.
Okay, maybe most of the time if you even go to the airport, you won't find me. You will be on the road. But let me join my two comrades in sending a message of commemorations to His Excellency President John Ajekwu Kufuor for the occasion of the loss of his wife. I associate with many of the things Bernard Mornah said, the sterling qualities the former First Lady exhibited. I mean, you have to dig deep in order to find moments in which she was embroiled in controversy. Very distinct from what we see in recent times.
I disagree with you both.
It was a woman who
I'm happy you didn't notice
exhibited profound humility. And for us Muslims, that is what the Almighty Allah has admonished us. That a human being is nothing. Look, bless. Just look at, you light a bonfire. You see the raging fire. The end of it is cold ash. That is how the human being is. Today you may think you are you may even try to equate yourself with the omnipotent. And think that you are almighty, you can do anything to anybody in this country. Tomorrow you will be cold ash. Mark my words. You will be cold ash. And if you did not conduct yourself well, you'll be treated with disdain. That is why I say, my brother Comrade Ayisi can disagree with me. But I say that when President Akufo-Addo and the NPP lose power by the grace of Allah, which it will happen on December 7th, 2024, there will be like a second independence celebration in this country. There will be a carnival on the streets. that a constitutional despot is almost gone. You will see the President Kufuor's humility and the way his wife conducted herself in office as First Lady. You will see. That's why I say it will be very difficult for you to dig out controversial or bad things. That I'm not by any stretch painting her as a saint, but I'm saying that in the office of the First Lady, she had conducted herself so well that almost everybody is saying all the good things about her. This is the woman we have lost. There are so many things to say. In fact, Bless, as the first political editor of the Graphic, I did a lot of coverage in the run-up to the Sunyani Congress that President Kufuor was elected. We used the opportunity to do a straw poll for among the MPP delegates. And so even before the Congress could be held, we gave a certain percentage. And if you ask even the MPP, they still talk about it today. About the prediction we made about the outcome of the Sunyani Congress, which came right on top. But this is the humility that I think public officers ought to exhort themselves. That, like I said, as Muslim, Allah tells us that you must lower yourself. You must be very humble for Allah to elevate you. But Allah despises the proud, haughty, and the capricious. He will bring you down. Your day will come. And so I think that this is a matter all of us have to say. Her life is that of a celebration. We should celebrate her along with our First Lady. And I want to greet my mother, Lordina Mahama, and indicate that the posterity that makes judgment will place this woman in their proper stead. I did not hear of that this one was coming this weekend. I thought it was next week. Melo's one. Yeah, I'm sure that if we all find time and commiserate with him, I'm happy that my brother Ayisi will be there. And not only there, but this time he should come when it comes and come and campaign for him in Iowa, so West Wogon. For true friendship. Friendship sometimes crosses political boundaries.
Yes.
And then
also is our seat. So
yes.
It's our seat.
No, it's not your seat.
It's seated
we won it
in gold and platinum.
We won it in 1992, repeated it in 1996. So it cannot be your seat.
That's past tense.
And of course, late E.T. Mensah. I think in NDC politics, his destiny is known. And so I don't want to belabor the point, notwithstanding the recent wranglings that took place. But I still want to believe that his pride of place in the NDC is still there, and that NDC members will come out in full force to give him a befitting. I hear the body is coming today, or is it?
Yeah. He died in South Africa,
yes,
seeking medical attention.
Yeah. So I want to wish that the Almighty get their souls to rest in His bosom, eternal peace. Okay, then Bobi Wine. When the landlord has spoken eloquently about the story of his house, you don't ask the caretaker for confirmation. This man and Bobi Wine.
The caretaker lives in the house and knows the happenings.
Yes,
so he has something
but
to
he
say.
reports to the landlord. The landlord knows the house more than him. How the house started, which block went where. Yeah. So the tragedy for me has been the lethargic, lackadaisical, almost totally condescending attitude of African leaders. You see, that is why I said that the resurgence of coups on the continent will continue until we do the right thing. Because I'm saying that, look, Patriot Ayisi, we set out term limits, that's not it.
Yeah.
We say no more than 2 terms.
Yeah.
Your peer, your colleague in the is changing the constitution. He is tampering with the process, and you are mute.
Yes, AU.
What does that say of you? They are oppressing their political opponents. They are persecuting their political opponents. You are mute. Indeed, sometimes they even on the backside even lend encouragement to them. Deal with the opposition elements. They are rascals. You understand? Like when we come to Addison, he says we are hooligans. Don't worry. The government have been saying that when they call you a monkey, you make your tail long. He has called us hooligans. You will see who the hooligans are. But these are the things. And you go on a tangent that is clearly anti-democratic. So you assume power through democratic means, and then now use anti-democratic means to suppress your opponents. Where is the democracy that we all have pledged and sworn to nature? Because like PM Lumumba said, if you come to power and you use your power for good and you do good work for the people, you won't talk yourself hoarse. Your good works will sell you. Okay? So you don't need to take a sledgehammer to deal with your opponents. To use anti-democratic means to remain in power. You put up a maximum age, and just when you are reaching the maximum, then you change it again. What is this?
Who asked him to put
Term limits are there. You disrespect them. Democratic methods for dealing with issues are there. You subvert them and replace them with authoritarian, autocratic, despotic measures. What is that? And the AU and ECOWAS and others are silent. When it is time for them to offer some wise counsel to their colleagues who are misbehaving, they say that there is a principle of non-interference in the internal affairs of member states. So, okay. When they take them out, where is that principle of non-interference? They are still the same state. The state is eternal. Regimes are transient. I lie?
Yeah.
So, the status of states as inviolable, their territories inviolable, their independence, territorial integrity, and sovereignty inviolable is there.
It doesn't apply to aggressive takeovers. That's
Which one? Which one? That is a state.
Stealing.
That is a state. It is still the state. If it is Mali or Burkina Faso or Niger, it is still the state. So if the right of the state to have their territories to be inviolable, you cannot go there. So if you can quote it when the man is misbehaving, you quote it when he's being taken out, because it's still the same state. But in that case, you will see them talking of massing troops or others to go and interfere in the internal affairs of other nations. So why did you not take preventive measures to ensure that we did not arrive at those states through the peer review mechanism and other mechanisms that have been enshrined to make sure that we correct errant leaders on the continent, so that they don't go the way that we all detest. So, bless me, I've been saying that if you go and bring anti-infested firewood to your house, don't complain when lizards come to visit you. Because lizards, they love the ants. They will come there. So if you create excuses for coup d'etats to happen in the continent, who says that you are not responsible? You are the one who is promoting those anti-democratic things that are happening. And so don't go there in the first place. And so I think that in the case of Bobi Wine, they are trashing it. The same thing. You know, existing side by side is the story of Senegal, Sonko. See some very spurious charges, cooked up trumped out charges made against opponents, and on the basis of that, because in some of the systems they try to procure the compliance of the judiciary, and so they use that as a basis to try and get their will done, and so that's what Sonko is going through in Senegal. Very, very sad, and I'm sure we should all rise up and condemn this and ensure that a true climate of democracy prevails in Africa, so that we can have peace, order, and stability to develop our continent.
Right.
I always end on this note. It is a shame on us that Africa is the richest continent and Africans are the poorest. What do we do about it as Africans? That answer, long ago, had been given by the legendary visionary, ever-present Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, when he said, the panacea to Africa's woes lies in continental African unity.
Right. Thank you very much, Alhaji AB Fuseini. But Let me also remind you that you can also contribute to the show. Let me know what your thoughts are. We'll proceed to the next topic for discussion, a very interesting one for that matter. Just 3 days ago was the Occupy Bank of Ghana protest. The minority in parliament, as well as some other political parties and civil society organizations, they put together that protest. They want the resignation of the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Addison. When they marched through some principal streets of the capital and in hope to meet the governor himself and present the petition to him, that was not possible. At the end of the day, we were told that the governor and his deputies were in a meeting with the International Monetary Fund, and so I think he delegated one of his, I think the chief security officer at the Bank of Ghana to come for the petition. Now, he has responded to the petitioners, and he has used some language which the demonstrators are not happy about. The demonstrators feel that it's haughty, it is discourteous, it's not in the light of somebody who really thinks about the country. That is what they believe. But I'm sure Comrade Bernard Mornah has been following events, and
he's in the throes of the affairs.
Yes, he's been in the thick. He's been in the thick of events. He's been at the forefront of this demonstration.
You are taking the from the
So he'll tell us exactly what he makes of this comment from the governor of the Bank of Ghana, and also what they could be doing next, especially when he has indicated clearly that as for the resignation, they can tell that to the Marines. He's not going to resign, he's not going to resign today, he's not going to resign tomorrow. Come here, Bernard.
Like his boss, Kenofurata before him. You resign today, you resign tomorrow.
Well, well, what would I say? If I say that was a very stupid comment, they will say that I'm using abusive words. And so you permit me not to use it. But certainly, this is coming from a very uninformed position of a PhD holder who is supposed to understand that in the bouquet of democracy, protestations are a part of democratic rights. And that in Ghana, Article 21 enjoins us to assemble, to protest, to manifest our disagreement by venting our anger. And in doing so, you note that Article 21 is under Chapter 5 of the Constitution, fundamental human rights. And so it tells you that the right to demonstrate is not a privilege. It is fundamental human rights. It is like the right to life. That is the category that they put demonstrations under. And those who did this would not have done that out of ignorance or out of hooliganism, as the governor wants us to believe. So if there is anybody who is a hooligan, it is Addison, who thinks that by being a governor you are a despot. But he does not qualify. Ayisi, take this from me. Kofi Wampa was a governor. The reasons for which he had to resign about 4 months into his retirement, only 4 months into his retirement, right, were two. One, that our cedi had depreciated the dollar 4.2 Ghana cedis to $1. You can note it down. The second reason was that he had taken inflation from 9% to 14.7%. These two reasons made the minority leader Chairman Sambosu to inspire all of us to call for the resignation. In fact, we called for the dismissal of the governor of the Bank of Ghana. Even in our ignorance, we were insisting that the president should sack him because it was the president that appointed him. In Parliament, where I was seated, where political party leaders sit, Chairman Sambosu and others, when Mahama was presenting the State of the Nation address, started telling him to sack the governor of the Bank of Ghana. Then the president in response said that, you Parliament pass a law saying that I cannot sack the governor. If you want me to sack the governor, change the law and I will sack him today and now. When the governor left there, the next day he resigned. Two reasons. Today, take the same two reasons. Take the same two reasons and match the quality that Addison is having with that of Wampa. If you take the depreciation of the currency, we are now hovering around 12 cedis, not 4 cedis. That is 3 times. 3 times what Wampa.
It's the same.
What is the same?
Great. It's the same. You see, and I feel the issues about that mathematics, it's you see, from moving from 10 CD to 10 CD to 100 CDs is 1,000%.
It's the same.
But moving from 100 CDs to 300 CDs, you see the figure is 200 CDs. But
that one kills business instantly.
Yes, and
because the quantum of money that you need, I should go higher.
No, yes, that's the point I was actually making.
No, it doesn't do anything.
It can never come anywhere.
No,
that was the point I was actually making.
It is an uninformed position.
Have you people
Rate is rate.
Please proceed. Please, let's allow. We do not have so much time, by the way. Kindly proceed.
Relative to GDP.
When he's finished, I can talk.
You can't proceed.
Are you done?
No, what have I said?
Right. So 4.2 today is 12.
So you went to 15 before.
Now I'm just talking today. I'm not talking about within the period of Addison.
You suffered on it.
Do you understand? Then inflation is not 14%, oh, it's 40% plus. I'm not talking about where it went before. I'm talking about now. If these two reasons could make Wampa resign, then Addison should have gone long time before today. But those are not the reasons, because Ghanaians can forgive. That yes, despite the vacillation in our currency, we can manage with it. Despite that cost of living has gone high because of poor monetary policy prescriptions. But that the governor of the Bank of Ghana willy-nilly printed in excess of 80 billion and gave to government without recourse to structures and rules and regulations. Which rules and regulations actually are the reasons for which the governor closed down many banks in this country. You are aware that many banks have been closed down because they did not meet certain conditions precedent. Aside the 80 billion, this governor decided that his mismanagement will run the Bank of Ghana to a negative, to a loss of 60.8 billion. A negative equity of 55 billion. Right? And then in addition, this same governor, after you have run the nations down, you decided that, well, I am the governor of the Bank of Ghana, so I'm writing off some of the debts that I think cannot be paid. So, in effect, they gathered the money, shared it, and called it bad debt. They just gathered the money, shared it among themselves, and call it bad debt because they can write off the debts without recourse to Parliament. To say that this is the debt portfolio. These are the reasons for which we think that they cannot be repaid. Consequently, we don't want them to be in our books, so we are writing them off. No approval. Now, the bank is supposed to serve as the banker's bank. Do you know what that means? A lender of last resort. So that if any bank is having liquidity challenge, the Bank of Ghana comes to support. They look at your books and see whether there is potential of solvency, and they solve it for you. In the case of the National Investment Bank today, that they are going to lose over 900 workers. Alhaji, it's liquidity problems. What are the challenges? Look, as soon as there was a change of government, NIB became the toast bank for the government and their anointed contractors. Asafo Mafu will tell you, go to NIB, MD, give them loan to go and do this contract. Government wants it urgently, right? Then Ken Oforiatta, give them loan. Government wants this project to be delivered. NIB gave contractors loans. The contractors did their job. Government has refused to pay the contractors. And you pay contractors so that NIB will take their money. You have not paid the contractors. How will NIB get the money to become liquid? Do you understand? So the NIB is owned by government through its contractors. And then you turn around to say that that bank is insolvent. Whilst you don't want to support the growth of NIB, you are here creating another bank called National Development Bank. A new bank that you can use our COVID-19 money to go and serve as capital. And yet you know what you are doing. This Governor Addison, who can sit down and say that Heritage Bank, its CEO or founder, is in court with Cocoa Board. And because of that, if the CEO is found guilty, the fortunes of the bank could sink. And therefore, you close that bank. You can predict the outcome of a court and use that to close a bank. Today, under normal circumstances, the Bank of Ghana should have been shut down. It's not. In the Bank of England, whilst they gave support to the banks and other people, and they ran a debt, they have said that governments will use 10 years to pay that debt. They did not write off that debt. Do you understand? You just got up and decided to write off debt. Share the money and come and tell us that you have written it off. And when we say this, you jump and go and say you are building a new headquarters with a start-up construction cost of $250 million. That is the startup. We don't know how it's going to end. Right? When we talk, then people don't understand. We sit here. Then I don't have money to pay my children's school fees, so they are sacked from school. They come home. Suddenly, I tell my children that I don't have money to pay your school fees. They agree that times are tough. The next thing they realize that the next morning, I cough out money to go and buy a brand new car for my luxury, and I drive it home. That is what Governor Addison is doing to us. That once he can run the bank to a loss, he can construct a new headquarters. And why? For their comfort, to befit the status of a bank, a central bank. Second, to ensure that the place that they are in, there is earthquake. And I keep asking the question, is that the only edifice that is there? The Chief Justice's offices are there. Right? Commission on Human Rights offices. The Ghana Law School is there. The Makola office is there. Ghana Commercial Bank is there. There are so many. And it is only the Bank of Ghana that is sited at an earthquake-prone area. And when you are taking it from that place, because everybody in Ghana, elementary geography will tell you that Accra is the earthquake-prone center. and McCarthy Hill is the epicenter. Also,
yeah.
So if you wanted to take it from earthquake-prone area, Alhaji, take the bank and go and construct it in Sankana or in Sanergu, because that one is far remote from earthquake-prone areas. But you are doing things that common sense will not tolerate. And when we say that because the president cannot sack you, that is why we are not going to the appointor. They say resign. You are not. We take protest. You know, Alhaji, did you see the deployment of security on that day? And it was the security that were calling the Bank of Ghana, telling them that the protesters are coming, get ready to receive us. Then the governor left the office. Initially, they told us that the governor was sick and that he was having BP problems. Then I said, when the man was printing more money, he did not have BP problems. When he was running us at a loss, he did not have BP problems. When he was constructing a new headquarters, he did not have BP problems. Later, they came and told us that the man said we should come. When we got there, we introduced ourselves to the persons that were there, only to be told by those that were there, the person to lead in the receipt of the was the director of security, in effect, the chief watchman. And I said, Chief Watchman, your duty was to arrest criminals. So the governor of the Bank of Ghana is a criminal. You could not arrest him and you are here. To do what? So we decided that we will not give our petition to him. We will come back. Then we come and hear this nauseating, useless comment coming from him that there were other options to dealing with the issue. And we chose to go on the street. Who said that going on the street is not an option?
Who even decides what?
Who says that going on the street is not one of the options?
It's even an option entrenched in the 1992 Constitution.
So this useless talk. But you see, Alhaji, let this governor know that in Indonesia, President Suharto, you remember him? One of the most, you can say most seen as one of the most what do you call it, unmovable presidents. It took only students. It took students. Students started the agitation. They decided to come with bombardiers. The students kept on their protest. Eventually, the student protest led Suharto to leave Indonesia. Right? If you go to Sri Lanka, the man had to leave. But you have called us hooligans. Certainly, you get to have a feel of what hooligans do.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. or Comrade Bernard Mornah. Let me come to Mr. George Ayisi. The comments from the governor of the Bank of Ghana. I want your opinion on that as well.
The Bank of Ghana saga brouhaha is nothing but a platform by the minority for political relevance. That is what I see. Because what they are doing is much ado about nothing. I repeat, much ado about nothing. And they just taking a walk on the street to get the people to know they are there. What are the issues they are talking about? That there's a debt of 60.8 billion. There's impairments in the banking system, and those impairments have led to about 55.1 billion Ghana cedi equity loss and all that. Yes. What are the circumstances that led to that? Governor Wampa, was he faced with any COVID or Russia-Ukraine issue? Global challenge? Was it? Was there an issue of domestic debt exchange program, DDEP, which the bank have had to absorb about 50%? Was there? Okay? Come on. There was crisis. What is the significance or essence of establishing a central bank in any way? That the bank should watch on for the economy to collapse? What are we talking about? You sit there and say they took the money and shared. Why would you say that?
Why? Which people took which money and shared? Which people? You see, when we do these things to ourselves for political reasons, then what do we get? Was there a domestic debt exchange? Did the Bank of Ghana intervene to salvage the situation and protect investors' money? Did it happen? Or you wanted invested money to have gone with the wind? So that the old people who were picketing and doing all those things would have completely lost their money? Is that what we are talking about? Dr. Kisiela Tuforsen, the minority leader in parliament, is that what he's talking about? He's a finance guru. Is that what he's saying? Please, let's be empathetic and think about our people that we seek to lead. We don't take advantage of situations that will worsen their situations. This is a government that, look, where we are is precarious, and we need to take steps A, B, C, D to salvage the economy. And so we brought in the debt exchange program by extending, the bonds and other things payment, due times and co. Okay, so we are issuing new bonds to ensure that your bonds are protected. However, there are some losses that we are going to incur as a result of the extension, and we engage the public, we engage the stakeholders, all of these. And the Bank of Ghana played a key role in this. And these impairments we are talking about, 2015 Cocoa Board bonds and co, are all involved. They are all involved. 2015, Governor Addison was the governor of the Bank of Ghana. Was he? So please, viewers, let's situate the issue in the proper context and let's interrogate them. It's unfortunate this government was saddled with this crisis and all that. But in the face of all this, we've been able to acquit ourselves well. And the governor is saying, look, why? These things you are keeping, there are other means to go about it. Are you saying the people that he said hooligans? I disagree. It's strong words, okay? But amongst them were hooligans. Lawyer Xavier Sosu was a hooligan. Listen to what he was saying that day.
He's apologized.
Apologized? He was a hooligan that day.
But he has apologized.
Bernard led a hooligan to the governor's place. He led a hooligan, Lawyer Xavier Sosu, to that place.
Who else would you name?
No, once you can point that Lawyer Xavier Sosu was a hooligan.
How was he?
Behaved like a drunkard that day.
But he's apologized.
And insulted people with unprintable words. And Bernard was happy leading such a person to Bangor. And he want the governor to risk his life to come and face that person. Look, is this the first time? He is an honorable member of parliament. How many times haven't demonstrators moved to parliament to present petition and a rep of the speaker went to receive the petition? How many times haven't people demonstrated to Jubilee House and a rep of the president went to take the petition? What are we talking about? Okay? It is people's inalienable right to demonstrate. We accept that, and it's in our constitution enshrined. And people at any time that is how come the Public Order Act doesn't mandatorily say that Bernard Mornah or his team should seek permission from the police. No. They say they just inform and notify the police that they are doing it. If Bernard Mornah and his team, Rex Omar and others, Suhini and others, can ensure that there will not be any hooligan conduct, then they can lead it and go. That is how come when there's any demonstration, the leaders of the team are known. They sign documents. They don't need permission. But we want to know the leaders of this demonstration. He knows. He is an experienced person in that. And so the police get to know A, B, C, D are leading this demonstration. So that if there's anything, they will be held accountable. So please, the word was strong. However, there were conducts of hooliganism amongst them. Okay? And the description...
Anybody was beaten?
Is there?
Was anybody beaten?
No.
Was there
People's
any
conducts were upset,
brandishing of
ludicrous.
weapons?
People's conducts were ludicrous. Okay?
Their conducts were ludicrous.
Yes,
what did they do?
like the one I mentioned. I was surprised. I felt scandalized when I saw that. You get it? But the police were there for the security and co. And so if the governor said he was in a meeting with the IMF team, okay, we know we are in critical times. The IMF is in country to do assessments too, okay? And then based on that, the second tranche of the IMF money is going to be released. So please, that is what was happening. And so at the time the people were coming, yes, he was notified. I would rather the governor had gone to receive this thing. But at that time, he was in an IMF meeting with his deputies. They have to justify.
Are you sure?
Yes. Alhaji, I'll come to you. Let him conclude.
They were in a meeting. An IMF meeting was a crunch. Even today, I listened to the woman, is it Lagarde or Christine Lagarde, the IMF boss, making a case for us in Cote d'Ivoire. Making a case for Ghana in Cote d'Ivoire. You get it? Needing global support for Ghana because we are taking steps that are going to help.
This is how terrible they have run down the economy.
No, because of the crisis. It's not about anybody running down any economy. You get it? And two, what he's saying, Bernard is talking about UK giving support. Ghana gave support.
To who?
UK debt is over 180 billion pounds. Okay, what are we talking about? Their central bank had to come in. And they incurred that. Are you saying the UK people are calling for the head of the chancellor of the exchequer or whatever?
They wrote the debt of.
Okay, so please, and these matters, why there are processes. They are saying that if in any crisis time, okay, and there is a need for a decision to be taken in emergency, the governor, the controller, and then the finance minister can meet and later report to Parliament. Parliament, media report, and other reports. These things are captured in there. And you people are still refusing to accept that there's a report to you. Okay? Memos have been brought to you. Okay? Concerning some of these things. Okay, please. I thought it is an engagement and who? So why are you targeting the governor? Because it's a government decision that at this point the DDEP, we need to intervene. And so the governor decides to intervene. So what is the issue? What is his crime? That is why he's saying, if you have any case against me, you know the processes to take. Use those processes. Demonstration, of course, is one of them. You have done your demonstration. Okay? What next? Instead of handing over the petition, you say no, a security man came in. Why? A wing commander, a lawyer, he's a legal person. You are saying a soldier and a lawyer is a watchman.
And he's
okay?
Right. Thank you very much.
He's receiving this document for the president.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. E. Thank you, Mr. E. I have so many questions, but for the sake of time,
I thought the demonstration was much ado about nothing. They say they will keep doing it. They can do it. You know, it's their rights, okay? But the governor, I think, you know, but for the IMF meeting, he would have been there to take it himself.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So let's hope that the next time they fix, it will be a conducive time for the governor or his deputies to go and receive them.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. AC. Let me come to...
He says he's not going to resign. And I'm with him. Take
Alhaji
the proper
AB
legal
Fuseini.
process to get him out.
I'll come to Alhaji AB Fuseini. Right.
You just be walking.
We shall see. When Akufo-Addo himself is running away, we'll see whether you carry your briefcase.
I want to render an unqualified apology
Akufo-Addo will not go.
to my colleagues in the minority, the conveners and the organizers of the demonstration, like Comrade Bernard Mornah, for missing out on this particular demonstration. I have never missed a demonstration. That is such for a good cause. That is a rescue mission for the sinking of this country by greedy and selfish people running our country today. I should have been part of it for my voice to be heard.
You were not in town.
Yes, that's why I'm apologizing.
Because
I had a
you were celebrating Damba for
celebrated Damba with my paramount chief for Sadnaro.
If you like, don't go now. Don't go there.
Unfortunately, it came on the same day. But my spirit, even I was there, my spirit was rebelling for me to come back as soon as possible to come and join the demonstration. But before I got back, it was late. So, colleagues, I have never stayed away. Like I said, a man in tattered clothes doesn't need a second invitation for a fight.
It was good you stayed with your people.
So that is it. I can understand you. But you see,
For your interest, it was good you stayed.
Comrade Ayisi or Petro Ayisi,
Yes, I have
I've said he's a very nice guy. But I was watching him sitting with anger
Yes.
about what he said was my colleague Honorable Sosu, that the harsh words he used has ignited the anger in him. But surprisingly, when it came to Governor Addison, calling demonstrators hooligans. Mark my words, so hooligans. And you know what hooligans mean? All the people, all of us, Bernard Mornah sitting before you now is a hooligan.
So should give a hooligan
All the other people were there.
He could have used
Minority
offensive
leader,
words, but that's not hooliganism.
minority leader,
No, he used offensive words. That's
Please,
not
please
hooliganism.
let's kindly
Yes.
let Alhaji proceed.
Kesel Atufosin,
A
a
hooligan.
first class gentleman. You call him a hooligan.
Mahama Yarga, a hooligan.
Mahama Yara, call all the dignified honorable members.
With that, but there was
Yeah, you see, look at your disagreement. You just dismiss it passively.
Hey, honorable.
I didn't see the anger in you. That's what I'm saying. That I saw your anger sitting. I know you are a very nice person, but I saw the anger in you about what. Sosu, even when your attention was drawn that Sosu had apologized, because as
because he
politicians,
disgraced all
sometimes
you
in the heat of
honorable
anger you
members.
can.
And
Yeah,
apologize
but I'm saying that.
by restoring
Yeah, but he
dignity.
apologized.
We will
But you are not
accept-
even
Not like
prepared
in
to
the
countenance his
Japan.
apology
We will accept it.
and tamper
Not
your
like in the
criticism.
Japan.
But I would have.
But
I
you
was waiting to
accepted
see
Trinidad
you.
Japan's apology.
You see, I was waiting to see you react in the same manner with the governor, who has called everybody a hooligan.
No. I
You know,
disagree.
the Japan talked
Yes,
about how your
but
government
I wanted
has
to
looked
say-
at this
see that
as if
disagreement
there was no
manifest
tomorrow.
in
He
a
came
similar
and apologized.
anger.
That's why you accepted.
Comrade Ayisi, I wanted it to see it manifest in the same anger
you have
you
not
exhibited against Comrade Sosu.
Yes.
You may be right. You want to say that there's a revolution you are showing.
Well, I love Comrade Sosu
So-
so
so-
much
so-
that
so- so
when
say-
he did that, I got
So the same thing should have.
I said, what?
Right, you don't hate Addison. Do the same thing to Addison.
No.
Who called everybody a hooligan? And after, and that's why I'm saying that that man,
Yeah, I
that man.
disagreed with him.
The government say when you call somebody a monkey, it will make his tail long.
And what does that mean?
He says we are hooligans. A hooligan acts in a certain way that makes him a hooligan. So he will see the action. Say it's hooligan. So he should know that. But you see, you are talking about the Bank of Ghana responding to a certain terrible situation we are found ourselves. Who sent us to that situation?
The crisis.
Who brought us to the crisis?
COVID.
As if Ukraine
You see?
is in the crisis.
Because we are still talking about even after COVID and other things. And I wanted to pose a question earlier. Is it?
Well, this supporting Ukraine.
Yes, but I'm just saying that is COVID, and that is the dishonesty, the disingenuity with this government. That they have not found any space to accept their own failings. They have hit everything on COVID and Ukraine, Russia. So the government itself has not had any failings. Long before COVID, this economy was totally on the brink of bankruptcy. We did press conferences after press conference to point out before even we went to IMF that the economy was not in a sound state.
Data doesn't support.
Okay. Now, Comrade, you see, if in one person's administration, you can post 60.8 billion loss. You can vanquish our equity.
13 billion in
Our equity of 55.1 billion. You print almost 80 billion Ghana cedis.
They didn't print. They supported.
He printed money.
They supported.
He printed money. That is why inflation galloped to 54.1%. You see, look, this inflation that we are battling with today.
They had that money.
You see, this inflation we are battling. You see, this inflation we are battling
Of course, I
today
know. Yes.
is the reckless, irresponsible policy.
Correlation between the inflation.
Let me make my
and the
point.
Bank of Ghana support.
That's what I'm saying. That is the reckless, irresponsible conduct of the governor. It is not for nothing that the framers of law give the Bank of Ghana independence, so that you can be insulated from the pressure of the executive. It is also not for nothing that a Fiscal Responsibility Act had been passed to make sure that you do not lend to the government more than 5% of the previous year's revenue.
Emergency is there.
Look, I'm coming. I'm shaving you. Don't be in a hurry to touch your head. You see, it is not for nothing that these measures have been to insulate the central bank from the pressure of the executive to spend. Because they know the executive will come asking for spending. Why? In 2016, the government of President Mahama made zero borrowing from the Bank of Ghana. Zero. In 2016, an election year.
2018.
I'm just indicating to you. In an election year.
2020.
Those were not. 2017 was not an election year. In 2016, when the pressure was there on government, President Mahama never borrowed from the central. Zero borrowing. You see the difference between a responsible and an irresponsible government. You see the difference so clearly. So under your watch, you do all these things. The Bank of Ghana, like he says, is supposed to manage our forex. When he took office from the NDC government in 2017, where was the CD?
4.2.
So you see, the deception they want to run away because they know because of their shambolic, catastrophic, abysmal performance, they are running away to look for averages and say that, oh, yeah, from this percentage to this
nominal
percentage. It's not percentage. Go to the money when the value of the CD rises, dollar rises by even one more CD, he holds his head in agony. Because he has to go and find more. He's not interested in percentage. He's not interested in percentage. He's interested in the quantum that you are sending. So if you increase it by 1, 2, 3, and in this case, you increase it from 4 CDs to 12 CDs. 8 CDs difference. The man's business is dead. He's already in his grave. Okay? That is the quantum he's looking at. Under the watch of this governor. So in addition to all this,
when the city nominal figures,
you see, the printing of nearly 80 billion in 2 years to fund the irresponsible expenditure of government will send us to an inflation of 54.1%. Okay, our forex has ballooned out of control, and in the face of all this, the Bank of Ghana Act that stipulates how, in the event of this emergency, how it ought to be done. Flagrant violation of the procedure. I'm a member of parliament. He was trying to say that it's not in the media review. Finance minister only mentioned some aspects of the troubled nature of the economy. If you mention the aspect, it's not seeking approval. It says come to parliament with those measures. We are not adding it to some other things and coming to parliament. Can specifically say
you didn't approve the mid-year budget.
My brother, I can tell you that. That's why I indicated to you this thing that you are talking. Some of them are not even in the
when
media.
we brought
they are not in the media.
levy
No,
in parliament.
No,
you excluded that and approved the rest. Two of us.
Comrade Ayisi, let me make my point. I'm just saying that the Bank of Ghana has said that in the event that you want this thing done, table those things. They didn't say go and make it as part of your media. Even the media budget, a lot of this. They are not in the media budget. They are not. But that's not what even the law says. The law says table those things that you want, appear specifically because of those issues before Parliament and ask Parliament for approval. It has not been done. I'm a member of Parliament. I can say it without any iota of doubt.
Why did you take out e-levy and put it aside and call the governor?
None of the measures
why didn't you say
stipulated have been done? So, my brother, if a Bank of Ghana governor does this, and so moto arrogates to himself powers that he doesn't have.
So moto?
Yes, because he doesn't have authority to say that he's writing off any debt. Show me anywhere in the Bank of Ghana Act, which provision in the Bank of Ghana Act empowers the governor to write off those debts. Show me. He has no such power. So you see, there's something we call stealing in the name of bad debts. Stealing, thievery. That is what is happening here. That you have no authority in the first case to have issued those monies.
Alhaji, I'll show you where they steal and put their money.
Yes. Even some of their people have started saying those things, looting and stashing money somewhere. But I'm just indicating to you. Oh, my brother, you just wait. It says that in the event that you have to do that, go and seek permission. Even when you seek permission, there is a procedure in the Bank of Ghana Act that says how that debt ought to be repaid. It says clearly that debt ought to be repaid. Nowhere, bless, and I'm saying here, nowhere in that Bank of Ghana Act is a provision made that you can write off a debt of that nature. Nowhere.
The law says as a result of DDE.
Which one? Which one? The Bank of Ghana had no business in that first.
The cocoa bonds.
Look, why is the Bank of Ghana insulated from the...
4.7 billion.
No, I'm saying that. Why is the Bank of Ghana insulated from executive pressure? So that they don't fall into these ones. If they give you independence and you go and sell yourself to the executive, and you come and tell us that we should not blame you because the executive brought some challenging situation to you, you are grossly incompetent. Wow. Look, in 1992, Bill Clinton coined the term. When he was President Bill Clinton of the United States, he said the economy is gone stupid because of its management by stupid people. That is why we are here today. Wow. We are in the same situation. Our economy has gone stupid. And you say we should not call the people managing it stupid. What are they? What are they? What are they? It takes a clever person to bring out a stupid outcome in an economy. It doesn't. Wow. So look, let's call a spade a spade.
UK managers
I'm just telling you, look.
Singapore, they are stupid. Australia, they are stupid.
No.
All these countries,
they are managing it so competently.
They didn't write
They didn't write of the debt. They have not written. Their inflation is not. Their inflation is not.
Recession.
No,
they are stupid in the world.
Their foreign exchange. Their exchange is stupid. No, their exchange rate is not cardinal more. Their inflation is single digit. Go and check all of them. They are single. Even Burkina Faso. Yeah. Resource deficient
for the first time in UK.
They are running a single
more than 300%.
To what? What is the
what is the inflation rate?
It got up to 9%.
No, they have 9% inflation.
It's a single digit.
I am saying that
2%.
You are confirming what I said.
To about 9.
You have confirmed what I said. They are operating a single digit inflation.
Alhaji, kindly wrap up for us.
Yeah, so I'm saying that.
And it was abnormal to them.
Let us not give this hopelessly incompetent government a break.
Hopelessly.
Look,
and so far they've not provided.
Mr. Ayisi, kindly.
You see, it was Nana Akufo-Addo. Go and read the preface of the 2016 manifesto of the NPP. It was President Nana, then candidate Nana Akufo-Addo, who said that he has gone around the country, he has seen suffering in the land, yes. And that if by the grace of God he ever has the opportunity to rule this country, within the short term possible that is given him, he will make a dramatic and rapid transformation in the lives of our people. True. Today he has made that rapid transformation for the West.
Did he see?
This is the worst president in the history of our country.
It's not true.
That has
it's not
more
true.
or less shown careless abandon.
It's not true.
President Nana Akufo-Addo is not here and Dr. Bawumia. They are not interested in the welfare of Ghanaians.
Wow.
They are interested in what they can get.
And they are building
and get away.
In this crisis,
because no person can mismanage the economy to this catastrophic level. And when Governor Addison, they tell you that take responsibility for what you have done. If he was a gentleman, if he was minded by any sense of decency, this governor should have run away long even before.
Light on.
I'm telling you.
In this crisis.
See, this governor, if he had a scintilla of
workers are being paid.
Integrity, if this governor had a scintilla of integrity, he would have run away from that office even before anybody comes to chase him. But you should wait.
Use the process.
The bird flies in the air, but its finale is performed on the ground.
Use the processes.
He can think that today he has somebody he believes is an omnipotent president who is protecting him. He should wait. I've told you, raging bonfire, it ends up with coal ash. He should take note. His days of glory will soon be over, and on the day of accountability, he will look behind him and he will find nobody. And he will find himself there to defend himself. It will come. We have 2 days of we have a day of accountability on this earth. It will come. Mark my words. By 2025, the day of accountability will come for the lives of all these people.
You sure?
But before his maker, ultimately, look, you see, we are all here. You can accumulate all the wealth of this country. Take from the poor people, suck the blood of poor innocent people. I'm just coming. Why? Those who invested their money in bonds and others, they are chasing them around for their money.
That's cushioning.
Alhaji, kindly,
I'm saying that
2 minutes, kindly wrap up.
On the day his maker to demand accountability,
I'll show him what
he would stand alone. So that those two accountability, he will account on this earth. Whether he likes it or not, you will account. Just like the Nana Akufo-Addo is going to account.
And saving
you account here and go to his maker on the day. You'll be standing penniless. That day you will not need money. You can't bribe anybody. They think that they are bribing people here from all institutions and others to do their bidding.
Sure.
On the day it comes, that bribe, You can no longer get
right. Thank you very much, Alhaji.
But I'm saying that, please, this matter is not a matter. I want to make that abundantly clear. It's not a matter for the NDC minority. That's what the MPP is struggling to put up. That's the narrative they're trying to put up. Because, like I said, Comrade Bernard Mornah is here. He's at the forefront of the struggle. He's not an NDC member, but he's a patriot for this country. Because he sees what the level of destruction these people are doing to our country.
Are you sure?
And so, seeing it,
Sure.
every decent minded Ghanaian, and I'm taking this opportunity to urge all decent minded Ghanaians that in the next demonstration that is coming on, these demonstrations must go on until we kick this hopelessly incompetent government, and by extension, this insensitive, wicked, irresponsible governor, until we kick him out of office. There should be no rest. Ghanaians will begin to come out in their tens of thousands. I said that look, we should put 1 million people on the streets. 1 million people should get on the streets and show their revulsion as to how this government is sucking the blood of the people and is so insensitive. And on top of it, when we want to complain, they insult us.
Decent-minded Ghanaians know.
They insult us when we are going to say that these are the terrible things. I just mentioned under the watch of this one man.
Is there?
Under the watch, Bless. No governor in the history of country has committed atrocities at the central bank like this man.
Which atrocities?
This man. I just mentioned. Show me who has lost 60.8 billion.
Our time is up. We need to go.
Show me whose equity has gone 54. Show me who is spending
Thank you so much.
Who is trying to let 48 billion Ghana cedis. The money is not yours.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, Alhaji AB Fuseini. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for the show. Thanks to our viewers for always doing the watching. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you same time. Tomorrow is Alhaji and Alhaji, by the way, 9 a.m. Do well to watch. I'll catch you on Monday. Do have a pleasant weekend. Bye-bye.